So, um, welcome everyone to this special Sunday night edition of the Select Board meeting. So, pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, as amended on March 28th of 2025, Governor Mueller Healy signed into law an act extending pandemic-related authorizations related to public meetings, allowing remote meeting options for public bodies through June 30th of 2027. Tonight, November 16th, and this special meeting of the Westwood Select Board will be conducted via remote participation from the board. I hereby grant permission to Westwood Media Center to record the meeting, and I would ask if there is anyone else who wishes to record the meeting. If you would raise your hand or just pop something in the chat or the Q&A that you're going to record. Hearing none, seeing none. All right, we will begin with the chair's update, and I'm going to put this chair's update in keeping with the upcoming holiday. I'm going to use this to express many thanks. First, as we were talking about before beginning, this has been a very busy week with many special events. So I'd like to begin by thanking our friends at Westwood Media Center for providing so much excellent coverage. On Monday night, we had a special select board meeting to announce the finalists for the town administrator search. There was also a school facilities public forum. On Tuesday, they did an outstanding job with our Veterans Day ceremonies coverage. They got a brief reprieve on Wednesday, and then we're right back at it Thursday for 4+ hours of interviews with our town administrator finalists. And now this tonight. This essential coverage helps keep our residents informed of the many goings on in town and in ways that accommodate their busy lives. So if you can't catch it live, don't sweat it. Westwood Media has you covered on their YouTube channel. What most people don't see is all the prep to ensure everything is right, from lighting to microphones to power and cameras that are all in working order during the setup. Then there's the post-production that takes place to get everything prepped and up on the YouTube channel. This dedicated team puts in hours of time, and they are significant contributors to what makes Westwood such a great place to work and live. We may not say it often enough, guys, but thank you to everyone at Westwood Media Center. What you do is important for our community. Next, I'd like to thank State Senator Michael Rush and State Representative Paul McMurtry for joining us on Veterans Day. Thank you as well to Commander Dick Pastor and the entire Westwood Legion Post for their part in making those ceremonies so meaningful. And finally, thank you to the team, to Andrea Vargas and her family, who led the effort, as well as the support received from Danielle Sutton, Tish Healy, Dottie Powers, and Michelle Miller. And of course, our Veterans Director, Dan O'Neill, and Deputy Director, Dave Camposano. So, as we move into our first of 2 scheduled action items, I'm going to stay with our theme of giving thanks to all who were involved in our search for our next town administrator. So, Bernie, I'm going to start with you and the team at Community Paradigm. Thank you for sourcing and vetting so many qualified candidates. Thank you as well to the screening committee, Chair Jack Wiggin, and the other members of the committee, Town Council Pat Ahern, Planning Board Chair Ellen Rollins, Larkin Rollins, Finance and Warrant Commissioner Chair Bill Bruce, School Committee Member Dory Parmalee, former Select Board Member Phil Shapiro, and Resident at Large Ford Spalding, who also was a former Select Board member in Dover before moving to Fox Hill Village. Thank you as well to the EFG, our Executive Function Group, which is comprised of our very talented municipal leadership team. Thank you to Superintendent Pivovar and Budget Director Baptiste for their participation. Thank you, most importantly, to those community members that weighed in with thoughts, either as part of the community survey that was held before the search, or over the weekend with many calls or emails that I know each of us received after watching the interviews on Westwood Media Center. And that was a significant time investment on your part, so thank you. Thank you to all the applicants and the finalists we met the other night. It was great to hear so many wonderful things about our community that make it a desirable place to want to work. Finally, a special thank you to Joan Courtney Murray, our former HR director, who came out of retirement to serve as the town's liaison to Bernie and the candidates. Joan, we can't say enough thank yous. All right, so now that we have this sort of Academy Awards thank you list out of the way, we've got some really important business to attend to. We must deliberate on and make a very high quality decision from the choices before us. Now, before I ask for each of your thoughts, I want to let folks know that late this afternoon, one of our candidates, Brian Golden, withdrew his candidacy for the position, so that makes this essentially a 2-horse race. So, Marianne, as the third member, I'd like to start with you to get your thoughts. And Joe, I'll ask you after Marianne before I offer any thoughts of my own. So, Marianne, let's go to you.
Thank you, Rob. And it really does bear repeating the thanks that you just gave to Bernie. Thank you for bringing us 27 qualified candidates, which I understand is far more than has been seen in comparable communities of late. Thank you very much for your engagement with Westwood. I have to repeat, Rob, what you said in terms of thanking the screening committee, the leadership of Jack, especially Joan Courtney Murray for being the ex officio member and coordinating all of this. These are folks who have demonstrated by their actions their commitment to public service and to Westwood in particular. And thank you for the time, the generous time you gave and volunteered for this very important job. So all of that said, um, again, 27 applicants, six of whom underwent extensive interviews, as I understand it, by the screening committee that brought three finalists to us who we interviewed last week or a few days ago for, as you said, about 4 hours, Rob. And they were all, in my opinion, very well qualified candidates who each brought a unique set of experiences to the potential of serving here in Westwood as town administrator. And I was very impressed by all of them. Um, I do think that Connor Reed, the current town administrator in Easton, in particular, brings a set of experiences in his roles that he has had in Easton, as well as skills that would be very well put to use here in Westwood. And so my vote for our next town administrator is Connor Reed. On top of that, he brings an energy that I think will be very welcome here in Westwood. And I'm thrilled that we have again, such superb candidates to choose from. And my choice is Connor Reed. Oh, you're on mute, Rob.
It's a good thing because I was choking. Um, thank you very much, Marianne. Joe, your thoughts.
I concur with everything that you said, Rob, and Mary Ann, you as well. I'm not going to repeat everything you said, but I will say I'd like to thank the folks, meaning the town staff and the residents who took the time to call or stop me and chat about what they thought about the candidates. I got some terrific feedback, and it was very thoughtful, and I very much appreciate it. And I heard them loud and clear, and what I was told, I will certainly keep in mind. I have to agree with Marianne. I believe that Connor, well, first of all, they were all outstanding candidates. And in fact, I received a call from a town manager, and he spoke very highly of the candidates. He was very impressed that we got the candidates that we did, which is, Bernie, a credit to you and your team, and to Jack and the search committee. You folks did a great job. But I agree with Marianne. I think Connor Reed, I found him to be very knowledgeable, thoughtful, sincere, empathetic, knowledgeable. I just can't find enough superlatives. He's just an excellent, excellent candidate, and I'm looking forward to working with him. So I'll cast my vote for Connor Reed, Rob.
Thank you both. And I agree with many of your observations. From my perspective, this was also a victory for the town of Westwood. I mean, when you listen to the candidates talk about the long list of reasons why Westwood is the town to be both admired and emulated, it should make everyone proud. For us to have the nearly 30 applicants that Marianne referenced before, Such a talented group of finalists tells me that we have something that we're doing right here that people want to be part of. While Brian officially withdrew his name from consideration, I want to acknowledge what an intriguing prospect he was to me. By his own definition, he was non-traditional and his candidacy was such, but his resume and lived experiences, those could have brought a really different strategic set of skills to the job. So thank you, Brian, and we wish you well in whatever your future holds, both personally and professionally, as well as on the Newton City Council. I thought Joe Powers offers a fantastic blend of elected and appointed municipal experience. He's served in our role as a select board member in another community, as well as a town moderator, a town clerk, an assistant town administrator, and a town administrator. And I thought he spoke eloquently about how those experiences would assist him in serving as our next town administrator. During his interview, he also alluded to some things that a surface level internet search might reveal. And we didn't really have the time to dig into any of that on Wednesday. So I arranged a call with him yesterday to probe on those references. And I gave him a chance to provide much greater context and nuance for each. And there is definitely more to the story than a cursory search would provide. To his credit, there was one situation he acknowledged he could have and should have handled differently. And to quote a dear friend of mine who has unfortunately left this earth far too early, experience is a tough teacher because first comes the experience, then comes the lesson. He admitted he had learned from the experience and would work even harder to live up to his own standard. And I offer that as background for the integrity I believe he has that matches that depth of experience. Now, our final candidate, Connor Reed, has, by all of your prior statements, had a spectacular interview. As I understand that, it was very much in line with what he did both before the screening committee as well as the executive function group. And I agree with you that he distinguished himself as a tremendous fit for Westwood. So I would agree with both of you. And as such, I would entertain a motion instructing Town Council Pat Ahern and Deputy Town Administrator HR Director Molly Fitzpatrick to begin contract negotiations with Connor Reed to serve as our next town administrator.
So moved, Rob.
And I'm pleased to second that motion.
Outstanding. Okay, roll call vote. Mary Ann,
Aye.
Joe,
Aye.
and I vote aye as well. Now, a quick scan of the he was here before. I don't know if he's still here now.
He is.
He is. Connor, if you'd like, by all means, feel free to raise your hand. And if you'd like to come in and say anything, we would be welcome your participation. Tish, if you could let Connor in and have him unmuted. I believe he's coming in. Hello, Connor.
Good evening. It's good to see all of you again.
Likewise, and just want to, officially extend our congratulations to you, and hope that you are as excited to join us as we are to have you join us.
I am, and thank you so much for your votes of confidence and your belief in me. It's been an incredible process. I appreciate you starting the meeting off thanking the many, many, many people who've been involved because your team certainly put all of us through the paces this week. And then I reminded myself that whatever I was feeling, they did ×3. So that's really incredible. So again, I don't have anything prepared. I don't like to count eggs before they hatch, but I just want to say thank you. Thank you for putting your trust in me. I'm very excited by this opportunity, and I look forward to joining the team and working with Deputy Administrator Fitzpatrick and the amazing folks you have in Westwood to do a great job for the people of Westwood. So thank you so much. Thank you, Bernie, and everyone involved. It's been a pleasure.
Okay. Thank you, Connor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pat, I believe you have the instructions that you and Molly need to begin what you need to do. So I will circle back with you at some point tomorrow morning.
We look forward to it.
Thank you, sir. Connor, thank you for joining us. We actually have one other piece of business that we're going to move on to. So appreciate you being here and congratulations.
Thank you. I'll see you all soon.
See you
Thank you.
soon.
Take care.
All right, so we are going to move to our next and final agenda item, which is to talk about our Fire Station 1 steering committee and make appointments to that committee. At our last meeting, we talked about expanding that group to 7 members, and we each submitted a bunch of names to Molly. Molly, I believe you have some things to review with the group, so I will turn that to you in order to review the nominees and review the steps we have taken.
Excuse me. I'm just going to share my screen really quick, or I'm going to try to. There we go. All right, well,
While Molly is sharing her screen, I'll stay with the theme of thanks. Thanks to all who considered being part of this group. There were a number of conversations, very thoughtful conversations that I know each of us had. There were many people who would be interested, but just didn't feel they had the time to be able to commit, but they gave it, real due consideration. There were also a number of folks who stepped up with a willingness to serve on this committee. And I believe we have a really good cross representation of the community. Molly, you okay with or do you need me to?
oh no, it's all right. I can jump into here. Tish, if you're with
I
us,
can
if you
share
could
my screen from here and
or if you could share your screen, that's fine. There's only 2 slides.
Yeah.
It's not working, but sort of to reiterate what you said at our there's been so many meetings. At a previous meeting, I believe it was November 3rd, we had asked that each board member send me 4 to 5 recommended names that they would have on this screening committee. I then took those names and applying a simple point system was able to rank them. And do you want to pull yours up, Rob?
Yeah, I think it should be right there.
All right, so we can just go to the second slide.
Okay.
So this slide shows the names of the 14 individuals who were put forward and who they were recommended by. And to echo what Rob said, I wanted to start by expressing a sincere gratitude for everyone who did. It's a very strong, very diverse group, and we're really grateful for their willingness to step forward and contribute their time and experience to such an important project. So the names I'll read quickly: Ken Aries, Kim Fiscaldo, Gary Asalian, Margie Aramo, Harry Davis, Nancy James, Jody Petroselli, Jesse Caddy, Wendy Thurman, Sarah Cantley, Peter Bean, Ford Spalding, John Cummings, and Paul Delia. I think I had that one right. He's the one I don't know. Okay. So, and to help the board in their selection, I had asked them to independently rank all of I believe there's 14 into it. I applied a simple point system to it, assigning points to each ranking to produce this recommendation. This slide shows the resulting rank list based solely on that point system. So this evening, the board will be selecting the top. We had originally said 7 names to serve on the committee. I say originally because the 3 names that I have highlighted, Peter Bean, Harry Davis, and Paul Delia, all came in at a virtual 3-way tie with points. And so I would say my recommendation at this point would be, instead of appointing 7, to appoint the full 9 individuals. And the reason for that is we're expecting to have a number of meetings of this group, and it would be understandable if not every member could attend every meeting. And so by widening the group to 9 members, you're more likely to have a room with more people in it to have this important discussion. It also helps getting a quorum a little bit easier. So with that, I'll turn it over to you, Mr. Chair, to engage in this discussion.
Certainly. I think I like the idea of expanding to the 9, given that it was, essentially a virtual tie of all of the seven, at seven. What I really like about the list is the diversity of residents, right? You've got a blend of gender, you have a blend of age groups, we have seniors, we have young parents, and everybody in between. And so I think we have some pretty good geographic diversity from across town. So I like the idea of expanding to nine. I'm not opposed to that. I will turn to my colleagues for their thoughts on first the expansion into nine, and secondly, any thoughts on the list. I think there's also very good representation, if memory serves from your first slide, of nominees from each of the three of us.
Mhm.
Okay. Any thoughts, Marianne?
I agree. I agree, particularly given the way the rankings came out, that it makes
One question, I think it's a great group, and I also want to thank everyone who put their hat in the ring for this, and the folks that I spoke to. They were very gracious and understanding. Molly, how do we do as far as geographically within Westwood? I don't have the addresses.
I do have the addresses and I can forward them over to you. It is a wide variety. We hit most of the major neighborhoods.
Okay. I'm good, Rob.
All right.
Rob, I just wanted to add one more thing, which is,
Sure.
and I think you alluded to this, for the folks obviously that did volunteer, but are not selected for the group. We very much value your voices, and we hope that everybody will stay engaged in this process, which is going to be open. So thank you for stepping up, and please continue to be engaged in the process.
And I would actually invite any of those five to reach out to me, because I believe Jody, who had been previously appointed to the long-range financial planning, may seek to not be sworn in there so that she can devote her time here as her, donation of time and talent to the community. So we will have certainly one vacancy to fill there. So, thank you all for stepping up. And if you want to continue to help shape the future of the community, by all means, please contact me, and I'd like to talk to you about the Long Range Financial Planning Committee. But with that, I would take a motion first to expand our intended FS1 steering committee from 7 to 9 members. And then I would entertain a motion to approve the list as presented by Molly.
I'd be happy to make a motion, Rob, that we expand the list of the FS1 steering committee from 7 members to 9 members.
I second that.
All right, roll call. Joe?
Aye.
Marianne?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well.
I'd also like to make a motion that the following members be appointed to the FS1 steering committee, that being Nancy James, Sarah Cantley, Ford Spalding, Ken Aries, Jody Petroselli, John Cummings, Peter Bean, Harry Davis, and Paul DeLeo.
I second that.
Roll call. Joe?
Aye.
Marianne?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well. That concludes the business that we had on the agenda for this evening. Thank you to those who have been in attendance. Thank you for those who may be watching at home. And thank you again, Charlotte and Westwood Media Center, for taking some time on this Sunday evening to get this very, very important town business done. Joe, before we adjourn, I just want to wish you well tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Rob. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Same, Joe.
And
Thanks, Marianne.
I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Oh, wait, before we do, sorry, one last thing. We do have a regular scheduled select board meeting tomorrow night, right here at 6 p.m. on Zoom. And with that, now I will entertain a motion.
And of course, I'll be there in spirit, Rob, but I'd like to make a motion we adjourn this evening's meeting.
Second that.
Roll call, Joe.
Aye.
Marianne.
Aye.
And I vote aye as well. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you for joining, and we'll see you back here tomorrow night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.